Hey, this is George here, and he's going to talk about our ultrasonic meter.
Yeah, this is the inline ultrasonic meter, and it's a 2-inch for a 2-inch pipe. And the inline ultrasonic meter could pretty much measure anything that you could think of that other meters cannot. So the only requirement is that the fluid be acoustically conductive.
Acoustically conductive. What
You
do you mean by
could
that?
you could run oil, water, ketchup, mayonnaise, barbecue sauce. I've sold into that kind of company.
As long as sound will flow through the thing.
That's correct. So the enemy of this particular meter is to have non-homogeneous type fluids. So if you have something that is chunky inside of the fluid, it won't measure all that well because it'll block the ultrasonic beam. It's a 1 megahertz ultrasonic beam that gets emitted from this transducer to this transducer in the back.
And you just measure the amount of sound coming out the other side.
You measure the time it takes for sound to travel from this emitter to this receiver. And what it will do is it will also shoot back a signal from the back transmitter to the front receiver, so it'll alternate. And what it will do is it will measure the difference in transit times of this transmitter shooting this way and this transmitter shooting that way. So the idea is that if fluid is flowing from here to here, that has a velocity, and the difference you get from the time of flight in this direction and the time of flight in this direction is your actual velocity.
Because the sound travels in the same speed in sound, depending on the sound travels the same speed in liquid, and the faster the liquid's going, the longer it takes for it to come back. Essentially.
Yeah. So there's a difference, and if you want to get real technical,
Which we probably don't want for this minute. Let's talk about who would want to use this and why we would use this versus another meter.
Very good. Yeah. So this meter has, for fluids, the highest turn down ratio of any technology. You'll get a 250 to 1 turn down on this meter.
By turn down ratio, what do you mean?
Essentially, you take the maximum flow rate that the meter could read divided by the minimum flow rate that the meter could read. So you have extreme rangeability, and because of the way that the meter works, it measures across the entire flow profile of the pipe. And what I mean by that is that every velocity vector and every molecule that comes to it, it's traversing that twice.
It's not like we just have one little spot that's measuring how fast the flow is at that one spot in the pipe. We're measuring the entire pipe.
Yeah,
so it's more accurate.
It's not a point velocity measurement. It's full span of the pipe ID measurement. So it's a very, very accurate measurement because of that, because it measures the entire ID of the pipe. Upstream, downstream doesn't have to be all that great for it to work properly. So that you don't need to have a fully developed flow profile for this to work.
Sweet. So it sounds to me like one of the things that's different about tactical flow meter is they use a different calibration process. Do you want to talk about how tactical flow meter does that versus some of the other flow meters out there?
Sure. First of all, we use NIST traceable flow standards, and these flow standards are very high accuracy, many times higher than the accuracy of the device under test. This particular meter and all of our meters, we have a special way of characterizing the sensor response. We'll do a characterization of the meter. We don't just stop there. We go the extra step, and what we do is we find where there's deviation between our data points and compare it against the reference standard, and any kind of deviation, whether it be very small or all the way up to 0.5% or 1%, we'll literally take that data point, and what we'll do is we'll use a trim function, and that trim function effectively corrects any kind of deviation so that it's perfect. You don't get any error in between the device under test and the reference standard.
So just as an example, then another company might turn it on and be like, "Ooh, it's off by 4%. That's our calibration." Whereas Tactical Flow Meter tests it for the entire range of flows, gives you the error on every single rate of flow, and says, "Okay, it's 4% here, 1% here, 3% there," and that gives you a much accurate flow meter.
Yeah, and what we do with that separation, that deviation, is we use, again, a multi-point trim function, and that trim function effectively erases all the difference between the standard and the flow meter that's being calibrated.
Perfect. And we have more information on that, and I'll put that in the show notes. The next question is, what happens when I buy it, and what if I can't figure out how to use it?
Yeah, you want to call our phone number for technical service. It is 831-244-8080, extension number 2. Yeah, and you'll get one of our technical service people to help you out with whatever you need. And if that person can't help you, we'll find somebody that can.
Perfect. And in terms of the warranty, is it a year?
It is a 1-year warranty on all of our equipment. We offer 10-year customer service support on all of our equipment.
Perfect. Thank you, George.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.